The parents supported the favored child even though she deliberately planned her wedding on the same day as our other sister's high school graduation. I'm 23, and with 7 siblings, it's easy to feel overshadowed. Our family roles are pretty well defined. Lydia, 31, is the eldest, Josh, 28, Leo, 25, then me, Aaron, 21, Nadia, 18, and Lexi, 4, the surprise baby. My main claim to fame is that I'm the one who gave our parents a grandchild. Erin, though, is the golden child. She was the last planned addition, the one who was meant to complete the family. She was born prematurely, which might explain why my parents have always been overprotective, but it's become more than that now. Erin recently informed us that her wedding date had been moved up due to a cancellation. No big deal, I thought. They're just getting married sooner. But the new date happens to fall on Nadia's high school graduation. Erin seemed apologetic but mentioned that the invitations were already printed, so the date was set. Normally, my parents go all out for our graduations, but they announced they'd have to skip Nadia's this time. We all tried to be understanding, assuming it was an innocent mistake. However, Nadia later confided in Leo and me that she overheard Erin receiving the call about the date change. When Nadia mentioned her graduation, Erin just laughed and confirmed the date anyway. As much as I hate to admit it, Erin's behavior fits her pattern. She scheduled her engagement party on Nadia's 18th birthday, though it wasn't until the weekend, and she announced her engagement at our oldest sister's wedding anniversary. Everything seems to revolve around her. When I confronted Erin, she casually dismissed Nadia's graduation, insisting she wanted to marry her love sooner and that our family had seen enough graduations. She even said, "We still have Lexi." What really bothers me is how much Nadia has been looking forward to her graduation. She's seen all of us graduate with grand celebrations thrown by our parents. When I asked Nadia what she wanted, she just wanted her own special day. So I decided that Nadia and I wouldn't be attending the wedding, and Leo agreed to skip it as well. Now everyone is angry, and Erin is livid. I didn't help matters by telling her that I could watch our other siblings get married since, in her eyes, it's all the same. Mom's been trying to persuade me to come to the wedding, arguing that graduation isn't as significant, but I feel that if I don't stand by Nadia, it sets a precedent that she'll always come second to Erin. I've been getting messages calling me an idiot and telling me to step up and be a good brother, but that's exactly what I'm trying to do. My son was supposed to be the ring bearer, but with the way my family is reacting, I'm seriously considering pulling him out of the wedding too. Dad has told Nadia he'll take her to dinner after the wedding, and right now, Nadia is staying with me because Mom keeps pressuring her. I should have mentioned earlier that there's only a month's difference between the events. Nadia's graduation is next Friday, and Aaron's wedding was initially planned for a month later. She wanted to get married in June, but the venues she liked were booked until July. Honestly, I don't care about the details anymore because it doesn't change the fact that she chose Nadia's graduation date for her wedding. She committed to this date late last year, and in order to make it work, she had to make some sacrifices and spend more money. She and her fiancé have been together since they were 16, so I don't understand why she's in such a rush to get married now when she used to be so content just being with him. I'm not very close to her fiancé, but he seems pretty laid back, the exact opposite of her. I don't think she's pregnant. She's always said she wouldn't have children until she was at least 25. Things can change, of course, but I can't help but wonder if she's seeking the same attention my son gets from our parents. And those are just a few instances. Here are some additional notable moments. 2 months after Erin got engaged, I proposed to my partner, a plan I'd been meticulously preparing for months and had shared with my family. The date was significant to us. Erin was upset, insisting I should have waited until this year so she could be married first. A few years ago, our brother Josh was heartbroken after being cheated on, and his confidence was severely shaken. Shortly after the incident, Erin asked him if she could have a necklace he had bought for his girlfriend, saying, "It's not like he needed it." When Josh reacted angrily, she cried to our parents, claiming she was only trying to help. On the morning of Josh's college graduation, Erin broke her leg in an accident. We all agreed it was quite typical of her. I don't want to defend my parents as they are clearly in the wrong here, but I believe they thought Erin had spoken to Nadia when she announced the date change back in March. They may have assumed that Erin and Nadia had worked things out themselves, considering it an unfortunate mistake. Nadia only shared with me and Leo last week that it was intentional. Generally, our parents have been good about attending and organizing events for each of us individually, but more than once, the spotlight has inevitably shifted to Erin. For instance, when we were celebrating Lydia's wedding anniversary, Erin decided to announce her engagement without consulting Lydia first. Our parents not only allowed it but also encouraged her excitement. It seems my parents haven't noticed this recurring pattern with Erin. As I write this, I'm considering making a list of all these instances to confront my parents. It's well known which of us were planned and which were not. Lydia was an unexpected addition, Josh and Leo were planned, and then there was me. Our parents then decided to have another girl, and Nadia was their miracle. Lexi was their blessing. None of us were unwanted, just unplanned. When Lexi was born premature, they never reconsidered their view that she was their miracle child. They loved Nadia and Lexi deeply. My mom apologized about missing Nadia's graduation when Aaron first told us, suggesting we could celebrate as a family after Aaron's honeymoon. But things shifted when Leo and I sat Aaron and our parents down to explain that Nadia wanted to attend her graduation, and that we would support her. Too many significant moments have been overshadowed by Aaron, so I want Nadia to have a day that is hers, even if it's just celebrated by her two brothers, her brother's partner, and her nephew. Update: it's been 2 days since D-Day, and I'm here with an update. I had to condense a lot because so much happened. Before I dive in, Nadia wanted me to extend her thanks to everyone who congratulated her on her graduation. She was overwhelmed by the support, especially after facing so much opposition from our family. So here's what went down. Last Friday, Leo and I went to talk to our parents and Aaron about pulling my son from the wedding. Our older siblings ended up joining us, so it was the 4 of us standing up for Nadia. Leo had spoken with them the night before and helped them see things from Nadia's perspective. Apparently, it hadn't fully registered with them that Aaron had chosen the date intentionally. The meeting was intense, with a lot of yelling. Aaron accused me of trying to sabotage her wedding. Our parents tried to persuade me to let them take my son to the wedding, but I held my ground. Having my older siblings there made me feel stronger, especially since there's only a 2-year gap between Aaron and me. Luckily, Lydia was present. As the eldest, her words carried significant weight. She didn't give Aaron or our parents any room to argue. Lydia confirmed that Aaron had chosen the date intentionally, admitted it in front of me and Leo, and stated that this behavior was typical for her. Lydia made it clear that if they continued to show blatant favoritism towards Aaron, the rest of us would consider going no contact, and Lexi might follow suit in the future. Our dad unexpectedly started yelling, but not at us, at Aaron. I've never seen him so furious, and seeing it directed at Aaron was a shock. Our mom then asked us to leave. We didn't hear from anyone on that side until Monday when Aaron's fiancé, George, asked to meet us at our parents' house. He apologized to Nadia, saying he didn't know the wedding and graduation overlapped, nor that it was something Aaron had planned deliberately. Our dad was the one who informed him. What followed was a long discussion where we all shared our grievances. I told our parents that we felt they valued Aaron more, that none of us seemed as important to them. Aaron's artwork always went on the fridge, while ours went into a drawer. I said that as a parent, I could never imagine treating my child like that. Aaron tried to argue back, claiming we were trying to paint her as the villain, turn our parents against her, and sabotage her wedding. Our mom told her to be quiet, saying it was our time to speak. George then intervened, saying he didn't expect us to attend the wedding, but we were welcome at the reception. He even mentioned that he wished he could have canceled the wedding entirely, as it would have cost him even more money to bring it forward. Mom's willingness to listen lasted less than 24 hours. By Tuesday, she was pleading with us to reconsider, saying our feelings were insignificant compared to Aaron's stress and the potential questions about our absence on the big day. I haven't spoken to my mom since then, but I did ask my dad to bring some of Nadia's things because she's going to be staying with me full time. On Wednesday, Dad took Nadia out for an early graduation celebration. They had a daddy-daughter date that I think she really needed. He apologized for a lot of things and said he wanted to do the same with the rest of us. But Wednesday was about her. I'm glad she got that one-on-one time with him. She was happy coming home to me. In our sibling group chat, she mentioned that she thinks Dad is going to try to mend bridges with us, even if Mom won't. Dad also showed up early yesterday morning, at 6:30 a.m. to give Nadia flowers. He told her he was proud of her. George even called while he was getting ready for his big day to congratulate Nadia, which I really appreciated. We didn't hear from Mom or Aaron. Our paternal grandma came to the graduation with us. It was a fantastic day. We didn't think about the wedding or Aaron, we just had fun together. My son got to wear his aunt's cap and gown and almost disappeared in the fabric. Our grandma even tried on my cap. We took photos and sent them to our dad, who posted them on Facebook. He congratulated both Aaron on her wedding and Nadia on her graduation, and we had a good laugh about how it must have annoyed our newly wedded sister. We went out for dinner, and as siblings, we gifted Nadia money for a week away with her best friend, a suggestion that came from a comment on the initial post. I texted George to congratulate him. Despite everything, I do hope he and Aaron find happiness together. While Aaron might not show love for us, I believe she loves him genuinely. Yes, she craves the spotlight on her special day, but I don't think she's marrying him just for the attention. Bringing the wedding forward was a clear attempt to make it all about her, but I don't think she's marrying him just for the sake of having a wedding. She isn't that kind of narcissist. For now, I plan to stay no contact with my mom unless she makes significant changes. This sentiment is shared by most of my siblings and is also supported by our dad and grandma. She has reached out to me and my partner, mostly berating us for not attending the wedding and accusing us of trying to keep her grandchild away from her. Our summer is shaping up to be busy. We're planning as many family outings as possible before Nadia leaves for college. We also need to plan Josh's 29th birthday. Dad's even joining in, which might widen the rift between him and Mom, but for now, he seems to be prioritizing us. Lydia's threat really had an impact on him. Thanks to everyone who commented on the original post. Your support really cheered Nadia up when she was doubting her decision to choose herself. Part of me wishes we had spoken up sooner, but it took us a while to find our voices. Looking ahead, I see 2 empty spaces at my own wedding, but I also see 5 siblings cheering me on. I'm happy with that. Update 2. It's been about 5 months since my last post, and I've had several requests for an update, so I thought I'd sit down and write one. A lot can happen in 5 months, and that's certainly been the case here. Let me start with July. Aaron and George went on their honeymoon, and their absence drove Mom into a frenzy. She wasn't used to having no one around. Someone was always visiting, mostly Aaron, but the rest of us would visit out of obligation to see Nadia and Lexi. With Aaron on her honeymoon and the rest of us going no contact, Mom had no visitors, and she really didn't handle it well. The day after Aaron left, our phones started ringing off the hook. Mom tried to convince Nadia first, which Lydia suspected was a strategic move since Nadia is the most timid among us and more likely to be persuaded. When Nadia refused, Mom shifted her focus to the rest of us. We all received similar phone calls with her pleading for us to visit her, to understand her, and to see things from Aaron's perspective. She even brought up Aaron's premature birth, emphasizing how miraculous it was that she was here at all. Josh told her to do better with Lexi, and Lydia just blocked her number. When the phone calls didn't work, Mom started showing up at our homes. She continued with much of the same rhetoric she had over the phone and before the wedding. She couldn't understand what she had done wrong or why we were treating her this way. She called me ungrateful and disrespectful, accusing us of harboring unnecessary jealousy towards Aaron, insisting that she loved us all equally. I didn't respond to her comments. I was focused on preventing her from going inside and saying the same things to Nadia, who was with my partner and son in a living room. Her remarks didn't deserve a response, and when she was done, I asked her to leave as calmly as I could. Honestly, I felt like crying. Who wouldn't feel awful with their mom yelling in their face, trying to downplay years of pain as unnecessary jealousy? My siblings and I have been let down time and time again by her and our dad since Aaron was born. They missed so many things over the years, both big and small, but we had one thing, just one thing, that they never missed, and we were content with just that: our high school graduations. But they couldn't give that to Nadia. We had our HS graduations, and they missed Josh's college graduation because Aaron broke her leg. I get that it was an accident, but they never made it up to him. They never celebrated such a significant achievement afterwards. He just had to grin and bear it. Our mom didn't show up to my partner's baby shower after making such a huge fuss about it, because Aaron didn't want to go and preferred to get their nails done together instead. But our jealousy is supposedly unnecessary. I don't know how I managed to stay calm when she was yelling at me, but I did. When I asked her to leave, she switched tactics and started calling out for my son, trying to coax him to come to her, telling me that she had a right to see her grandson. My partner stepped in then because she was seething and took my place at the door. Mom yelled some more, but she left when my partner threatened to call the cops. Mom repeated this with my older siblings but similarly got nowhere. Then came the Facebook posts, indirect rants about ungrateful people, and how shocking it is that some kids could turn against their parents so easily. Aaron somehow got involved while on her honeymoon and called Lydia to scold her for being mean to our mom. But as I've mentioned before, Lydia is angry and had enough. Whatever she said to Aaron stopped her from calling the rest of us. There was then a Facebook post about how much it hurt to be kept from a grandchild. No names were mentioned, but there is only one grandchild, and that is my son. My mom's sister called me, and there was yelling. I blocked the number. I know Dad was trying to convince Mom to just leave us alone. He kept apologizing because she wasn't listening to him. Aaron came home after 2 weeks and tried reaching out to Lydia again, asking for us all to talk because, and this is a quote from Lydia, clearly, we all have some issues to work out. We did not show up. Aaron was very angry about that because she's not used to us not turning up for her. July wasn't all bad though. While Mom was on a rampage, Dad was still trying to make things right with us, and he's improved a lot. In July, he and I went out for a meal together, just the two of us, and grabbed a drink. he apologized. It wasn't a generic apology that he could have repeated to all of us about how he's sorry he hurt us and neglected us, but he brought up specific instances he wanted to apologize for. He reflected on all those years and picked out moments he wanted to apologize to me for. I know he did the same for the others, but having him apologize for things like canceling a fishing trip because Aaron needed him was something I wasn't expecting. I never really cared for fishing, but I wanted to go on that trip because I always saw it on TV. I'd see a dad and son fishing together, and I wanted to have that. I wanted Dad to prove that I was a priority to him somewhere deep down. It didn't happen, and I never asked again, but we went fishing in July. What started as a trip just between Dad and me soon turned into a family day out when my siblings expressed an interest in going fishing too. My brothers first, then Nadia, and even Lydia, who hates the smell of fish. Dad brought Lexi and I brought my son, and it was great. It was one of the best days of my life. I suck at fishing, but I'm pretty great at collecting seashells. It was brilliant. Our parents did end up arguing when Dad went home. I wasn't there, so I don't know every little detail, but from what Dad told me, the argument was mostly because Mom didn't understand why we were still in contact with him and not her. She found it insulting that we were repairing our relationship with him. She was angry that Dad wasn't pushing us to forgive her or stopping us from acting out. She was also angry that he didn't extend an invitation to her and Aaron for the fishing trip, and even angrier when he explained that their presence would make us uncomfortable. Josh turned 29 at the end of July. We booked an escape room for the 5 of us siblings, then met our dad and partners for dinner that evening. Josh introduced us to his new partner for the first time. All our attention was on Josh. The day was completely about him, which was a first for our family. Then there was a party thrown for him by his friends, which I survived with a massive hangover. Mom started giving us the silent treatment in the middle of August. Dad moved out in September. While we were enduring the silent treatment, Dad was bearing the brunt of her anger, and it really took a toll on him. He was trying to do better by us, while she was trying to villainize us. He ultimately told her that if she didn't take accountability for her actions soon, he'd be contacting a lawyer. Mom didn't take him seriously. He's been staying in Lydia's guest room since. Mom doubled down, saying that he was blind for not seeing how we were manipulating him. Unlike the rest of us, Dad obviously still has regular contact with Aaron, and according to him, she's even told Mom to reconsider. Unsurprisingly, Aaron's involvement is what got Mom to relent. I'm not sure if she's reflecting on how she's treated us or if she's just silently stewing. I know she asked Dad if he's going to move back home, but he said it was better for them to have space right now. Personally, I'm struggling to see an outcome where Mom sincerely admits she was in the wrong. I think she'll say it just to get Dad back home and the rest of us talking to her again. I don't believe she'll ever see us on the same level as Aaron. In brighter news, there's officially less than a year left until my own wedding. There is no place for my mom or Aaron. My partner, Jade, and I decided to have our fathers wear ties that match me and my groomsmen, something I originally didn't plan to do, but I'm happy with the change. Nadia has settled into college well. She's made some new friends in her classes and is really enjoying herself. She's happy. Even though we have an active group chat, she FaceTimes me every few days just to talk. Most of what she says I've already read in the group chat, but I'm always willing to listen to her stories again. Nadia never used to talk this much. She looks a lot happier now than she did 5 months ago. I think that's everything. I'm sorry for the long post, but as I said, a lot can happen in 5 months.